What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show, and it's finally set. So let's talk about the game. Kansas City downs the Buffalo Bills 32-29 in the AFC Championship game, and Kansas City marches their way again. They go into the Super Bowl with the possible chance of pulling out a three-peat. Buffalo, man, started out very fast, very hot. For some reason, I don't understand why Josh Allen doesn't run as much as he should, especially with his size and everything. But man, he could have changed the whole outcome of this game if he would have just went on and ran more than sit up there and try to throw the ball as much as he did. But man, Kansas City is a complete team. Like I told y'all before, this is the first time that we've seen the Kansas City Chiefs team during Patrick Mahomes' tenure where he's had a fantastic defense. And the defense came up masterfully big. Coming down to the last play of Buffalo's last opportunity to make a play, and Steve Spagnuolo does what he does. He calls a blitz. And he calls an exotic blitz that ends up with the corner coming dead to rights into Josh Allen. And Josh Allen just heaves the ball. And it goes through his tight end, Dalton Kincaid's arms. And the game is pretty much over. Kansas City just took it and do what they do. Of course, Patrick Mahomes, what can you not say about Patrick Mahomes? I mean, this guy just finds a way to win. Like, even when they were down, right? It was just, even when they were down, and I think they had just went 3 and out, right? Even after that, I think Buffalo scored first. And then Kansas City came right back down and scored and took the lead. And not only that, I mean, then Patrick Mahomes then marches them down there, and we're not known for Patrick Mahomes to like bully his way into the end zone, but he bullies his way into the end zone to get the touchdown to make the score 29-22, and then it was just crazy, y'all. It was just so crazy, and Buffalo did what they could. They came down, they scored, past to Curtis Samuel. In the back of the end zone, but again, Patrick Mahomes does what Patrick Mahomes does. He makes these plays coming towards the final end of the game, and they kick a field goal. Buffalo comes out, tries to make it a game. Like I said, Josh Allen gets blitzed, throws the erratic pass. Dalton Kincaid drops it. Game is over. This was the best game of the night. I mean, this is the best game of the day. You know, Commanders didn't really fight as much as you wanted them to fight when it came to the Philadelphia Eagles, but Buffalo tried to fight it. They tried to really do it, and they just didn't. There isn't one failure that happened with Buffalo. There isn't just one particular failure that happened with Buffalo, but there are things they could have done to really set up there and gave themselves an opportunity. Like I said, the biggest thing is Josh Allen running. Like, Josh Allen really needed to run more. There were a lot of times where there was nothing but open field and opportunity for him, because there were times where Kansas City didn't even spy him at all. There were a lot of times that Kansas City did not have a spy for Josh Allen, and he still felt the need to sit in the pocket and throw. I don't understand why he did that. There were plenty of times where he had open lanes to run the ball, and he just chose not to run through those lanes. He just chose to, again, just throw the ball. And I mean, I don't know if that's coaching or if that's something that Josh Allen is just fearful of doing that. You know, I mean, with his size, you would think that with his size, he would take advantage of that. And he just, for some reason, he doesn't take advantage of his size as much as you would want him to. There are plays that he makes, but then there are plays, it's not the plays that he makes with his legs, it's the plays he doesn't make with his legs that puts Buffalo in the situations that they're always in. Because there were, again, like I said, there was one play where the line opened up and all he had was room and space, and he ends up throwing the ball. And I think it was an incompletion. So Buffalo fans, I don't know what to say. I mean, it seems like Buffalo, when it comes to Buffalo, you're talking about a team that is snake bitten so much. I mean, Buffalo has a way of constantly rebuilding no matter the decade. Every decade, they find a way to rebuild. They find a way to rebuild. They do better. They look good. They play better. And every single time, they find a way to get snake bitten. In the 80s, early 90s, it was the Super Bowls. You know, and understand, Buffalo dealt with the same thing that Denver used to deal with. Denver was the same way back in the 80s, where they would make it and they would just lose. But man, this is a tough one because, I mean, every time you turn around, it always seems that Buffalo gets snake bitten right at the last minute. And it's always the last minute. It's never a point at where Buffalo comes into a game and they get completely blown out. It's always the last minute thing. Like even last year, it's always at the last minute. The last play, the last kick, the last run. It's always the last, and then that's how they always lose the game, which I know for Buffalo fans make it even more heartbreaking that it's always something. It's a missed the kick, somebody fumbled the ball, an incomplete pass, a sack. You know, it's always, and it every single time, and it's so crazy. Every single time, it always happens between 1:30 and about 14 seconds left in the game. It always happened between that range for Buffalo. So, Buffalo fans, I feel for you. I really do feel for you because, like I said again, y'all have a really good quarterback. He just, like I said, it's not the plays he makes with his legs, it's the plays he doesn't make with his legs that makes it even more heartbreaking that, you know, he doesn't break through. On the other side, Kansas City, man, it must feel absolutely fantastic to be a Kansas City fan. I think that Kansas City fans feel like the fans who used to how New England fans used to feel, where it's like you're gonna make the Super Bowl, you're gonna be in it, you have the greatest quarterback in the league and all that type of stuff, and it's like, man, yeah, but Kansas City, even when you think about Kansas City for years has been this team that has been able to recycle, and always be relevant every single time. No matter who their coach is, no matter what's going on, they've always found a way to cycle guys in and out, and still remain super relevant no matter what's going on. And, of course, the breakthrough happened when y'all got Patrick Mahomes, and you're talking about, what is it, 5 or 4 Super Bowl appearances? That's crazy. That's crazy. And, I mean, y'all got 3. And, I mean, if y'all yank out this 4th one, that'll be absolutely insane because, and understand, I remember at one time I used to be, I was a Commanders fan, but my second team was the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's something that I'm being absolutely honest with. You know, Kansas City was my second team, but when Baltimore moved up the way, Baltimore became my second team. But Kansas City used to be my second team. And when I tell y'all that that Kansas City used to cycle players in and out and still remain relevant. It's always been that way. I mean, from the time, and understand, when they became my team, it was when Joe Montana and Marcus Allen was there. And we saw the change in this team. We saw the different quarterbacks. We saw everything. When you think about Marty Schottenheimer, Dick Vermeil, and Andy Reid, you're talking about, that's like the upper echelon of coaches. Because, once Andy Reid retires, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. It's basically, when you look at it, Kansas City has only been coached by Hall of Famers. Hall of Fame coaches. They've only coached Kansas City. Kansas City has only been coached by Hall of Fame coaches. And that is like absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And like I said again, to stay relevant decade after decade after decade and not have I know probably back, I guess, in maybe the 70s, maybe the 60s, they might have had a fall off. But since I've been watching football, Kansas City has been relevant the entire time. So, oh man, And understand, when Kansas City became my team, like I said, it was Joe Montana. It was Joe Montana and Marcus Allen. I think right before then, I think they had David Craig. I think before Joe Montana got there, I think they had David Craig that was there. But, you talking about Derek Thomas was like my favorite player. Derek Thomas, Neil, oh my God, I can't think his name. Oh my God. And I'm so mad at myself about that. But Derek Thomas and all them. And, you're talking about a team that just, in its current state, is one of the best teams that we've seen. And understand, we've seen it on opposite ends. We've seen Kansas City have the great offense, but not the great defense. The great defense, but not the great offense. And now we actually see the team have the two mesh well together, which makes them a very dangerous team, because they can easily sit up there and jump out on you as quickly as possible, but then they can come back. And that's the part that makes them even more devastating. So Andy Reid goes up against his former team again in the Super Bowl. And we'll see how it goes. Jalen Hurts last Super Bowl had a fantastic game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and he actually looked like he would have won the Super Bowl MVP if his team would have won. But Philadelphia's defense is a lot stronger this year, a whole lot stronger this year. But their offense, again, without Saquon Barkley, this offense for Philadelphia does not run well. But Saquon is, again, second best running back I've seen since, again, number one, Marshall Faulk, number two, Saquon Barkley. But again, you just can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Man, this dude is something special, something fantastic, and I can't wait for Jaden Daniels to get there. Sorry to throw that in there for y'all, but congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs fan base. Sorry to the Buffalo fan base and the Buffalo Bills, man. Like I said, y'all, it's the snake bitten thing. Y'all just seem to be snake bitten. And like I said, the times is always the same. Between 1:30 and 14 seconds. That's when y'all end up losing the game. So, man, y'all tell me how y'all feel. Buffalo fans, y'all tell me how y'all feel. How do y'all feel about what's going on with your team? How do you feel about the fact that it comes down to the end of the wire for y'all just to end up losing and not make the Super Bowl? Kansas City fans, how are y'all feeling? You guys have the opportunity to win 3 in a row for the first time in history. And again, y'all have the defense. How do you feel about your defense? How do you feel about your team as a whole? Y'all tell me what y'all think. Other than that, this has been your man, John Fortune, and it's been a Frustrated Fan Sports Show.